Look, I should just make mention of the fact that the editorial piece I did last Thursday on Joe Biden and the blundering hypocrisy of the man was posted on Sky News YouTube. As at 6 o'clock tonight, it has had 1,071, 1,071. That's 1 million, sorry. Oh God, nothing wrong with me. Must be the education system. 1,070,702 views. It's true. It's true. And 10,701 comments. It's gone all over the world. The point I'm making is that Biden must know he won't be able to avoid the microscope for too long. Today, the former President Trump said in his first speech since leaving the White House that the Republican Party was united. He would not start a separate political party. And he hinted that he may attempt to run for the presidency again. And he didn't miss Joe Biden.
Our movement of proud, hard-working, and you know what this is? The hardest working people, hard-working American patriots, is just getting started. And in the end, we will win. I stand before you today to declare that the incredible journey we began it together 4 years ago, and it is far from being over.
Yeah, far from being over. He said Biden was turning America into a sanctuary nation with criminals and illegal immigrants being let in as Biden pushes a bill for mass amnesty for illegal migration and chain migration. Look, it's the age-old story. Let the illegals in, and in return, they'll vote for the Democrats. Donald Trump today said the obvious.
Many, many countries all over the world, they're not giving us their best and their finest.
Well, it's small comfort to the knockers, but this man has the charisma, the ideas, the public following and the business acumen to easily rise again. The Western world, the free world, is desperately short of leaders who respond not to the grab bag of ideological fantasies paraded by minorities, but rather for the simple and unsolved needs of millions and millions of ordinary people. No one in political history has commanded the rallies that we've witnessed in support of Trump. And that's where envy takes over from reason amongst his critics. But the more they bellow, the more the Trump supporters gather. Trump has stood up to the rabble. Remember his address to the Conference on US History at the Washington National Archives last September when he said, and I quote, "Decades of left-wing indoctrination in schools have taught Americans to be ashamed of their country. The crusade against American history is toxic propaganda, ideological poison that, if not removed, will dissolve the civic bond that binds us together." He said it will destroy our country. But then this, and tell me any other Western leader with the guts or the acumen to say it, Trump said, quote, "Whether it's the mob in the street or the cancel culture in the boardroom, the goal's the same: to silence dissent, to scare you out of speaking the truth, and to bully Americans into abandoning their values, their heritage, and their very way of life." Well, now in Australia we see proof positive of all of this. The talented, attractive, feminine and conservative Nicole Flint. She's a Tony Abbott supporter, the man who won 25 seats from the Labor Party in 2 elections, which means she's also highly intelligent and loyal. A report today that the South Australian spokeswoman for Extinction Rebellion made the comment after the last round of graffiti on Nicole Flint's office in Adelaide early this month, and I quote, "Her feeling intimidated and harassed is something we're willing to risk for the sake of the planet," unquote. No wonder millions of Americans said, thank God for Trump. What he opposed is alive and well in the disgraceful treatment of Nicole Flint by Get Up and others, and it exposes a reality. Conservative members of our parliaments are not protected in the Liberal Party. The talented Nicole Flint had little support from those at the highest level of the party. She's a great loss. But Nicole would concede the greater loss will be the values for which she stood. Which brings us back to the Trump speech at the Washington National Archives last September. It bears repeating, quote, "Whether it's the mob in the street or the cancel culture in the boardroom, the goal is the same: to silence dissent, to scare you out of speaking the truth, and to bully Americans into abandoning their values, their heritage, and their very way of life. It is alive and well here, and it's time we all got off our backsides and did something. Stop leaving it to the few to conduct the fight." Your thoughts? Alan at skynews.com.au or the text line 0414 000 848.